who is a certified thinking and results consultant with an impressive track record as coach, mentor, and healthcare executive in the United States, Egypt, and Germany. She leads and coaches individuals and organizations to shift their paradigm and achieve exceptional results. She is co-author of the international bestseller, Imagine a Healthy You, and uses her coaching, leadership, healthcare, and multicultural skills and experience to be of service to those who aspire excellence and extraordinary results. She holds a master's degree in management, a master's degree in health science, physical therapy, and is a fellow of the American College of Healthcare. Welcome.
Thank you so much for the introduction, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to present to you about my favorite topic. And you already know my introduction here. You know who I am. And my topic today, optimize your team's performance and your patient's outcomes. Each of you will be able to take something away from this today. And because the common denominator of success is the success mindset. You as individuals, your organizations, your employees, your team, then top performing athletes and our patients with a success mindset, those that achieve exceptional outcomes. There was an interesting book published, and we will start first with leadership here. And it's published for CEOs and by Gildas, Murgy, and Chalik about beliefs, behaviors, and results. And they're talking about the internal misconception that exists within management that places the greatest limitations on corporate performance. And we will explore this topic a little bit more because our attitude and our beliefs affect our mind and most of all our results. Thank you. So think about, are you achieving your goals? Are you able to achieve what you want to achieve, and what limits you? And let's take a closer look at how results happen. So the good and the bad news here is you actually have a choice. And whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right, and that's Henry Ford. It's really your mindset. And let's understand how the mind works. So simplified, we have a conscious and a subconscious mind. We will talk more about it. And when we talk about the mind, I'm talking about the brain in action. I'm not talking about brain research here. And so what's in our mind is expressed through our feelings and through our body, and we act and react accordingly. So our body is merely the extension of our mind, and actually our life is run 95% by our subconscious. So when you got dressed today in the morning, you got dressed. You didn't think about, okay, do I put my right arm, my right leg in my pants or blouse? You just got dressed. 95% of your activities during the day are run by your habits. And the habits are an expression of what you believe of your subconscious mind. Let's take a closer look at the conscious mind first. That's the mind where you can reason and you can analyze, you make decisions. You think about what I'm telling you, does it make sense, doesn't make sense. You can think about, I have an accent, yes, I'm from Germany, by the way, I forgot to mention. And our conscious mind receives the input from our 5 senses. And our 5 senses are like our antennas out all the time. You constantly get input from your environment. And your conscious mind actually filters the input. However, the conscious mind works much slower than the subconscious mind. So all your inputs actually go in your subconscious mind much faster than you think. Our subconscious mind is where our feelings and our emotions are. It's where we have our beliefs, our paradigm, our self-image, and cell memory. For example, today, if you have a bike, you know how to bike. You learned it once, it became your cell memory, you do know how to bike. Now, the interesting thing is that the subconscious mind does not differentiate between what's real and what's imagined. So when you imagine something, you have an image. When you think about your house, you see your house, right? You don't see House. So you think in images. We always think in images, and we react to the images. So let me illustrate that. Think about a lemon. Yes, you have a beautiful ripe lemon from Egypt, from Spain, from Florida, wherever it is. Okay, you have a beautiful ripe lemon. Now you take the lemon and you cut your lemon in half. Okay, follow me. You have your lemon, cut it in half, okay? Put the knife away, you have 2 lemon halves, correct? Okay, now look at your lemon. Look how beautiful your lemon halves are, how beautiful yellow, you feel it, you smell it, and you look at the juice of the lemon on top. You take it and you bite into the lemon. What do you feel? Sour, puckery, goosebumps, your whole body reacts. Now, did you have a lemon? No. So what did you do? You imagine. Your body reacted to an imagination you had, to an image you had in front of your mind, and your body reacted based on past conditioning. Your past experience with a lemon. That's how your body reacted towards that. So the subconscious mind does not know what's real and imagine. Now I figured I'd get your attention with this little Gerber baby here. And because our subconscious mind is basically programmed from generations to generations, actually a little baby 5 months in utero can already sense the environment. And when the mother is happy or has money concerns or abuse, it becomes the baby's reality. Until age 7, the little infant and children cannot reason, cannot use the conscious mind to filter. Everything goes into their subconscious. So when the TV is on, CNN, continuous negative network, then it goes into the subconscious. Even if you think the baby does not understand it, it goes into the subconscious. So you want to be very careful what is in the surrounding. And of course, our subconscious get molded through the environment, our parents, our teachers, our experiences. They make it either empowering or limiting, because our beliefs are deeply ingrained, deep-seated in the subconscious. So we'll never achieve more than we believe we can. And Dr. Wayne Dyer mentioned the only limits you have are the limits you believe. So whatever you deeply believe in your subconscious. Now, Earl Nightingale also mentioned whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become reality. So your deep-seated beliefs, what you believe, and you add to it the emotion repetition, you're gonna get what you believe. And in 1960, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, he published a book called Psychocybernetic. Dr. Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon, and he did surgery on people with different, let's say, scars, birthmarks, ears, nose, and many of his patients had actually some social issues, social phobias or behavior issues because of the way they looked. So he did surgery, very successful, and in the post-follow-up, the patients, many of them felt better, but a large number of patients actually did not change their behaviors. And so he wondered, they looked cosmetically different, but their behavior didn't change. So he started to study his patients, and he actually came to the conclusion we have 2 images. One image that reflects back to us from the mirror, and one image the way we see ourselves. Now this little cat here has a fantastic day, and I hope you all have a fantastic day like this one today. It actually envisions itself as the big lion. So it has a marvelous self-image today. It's not its mirror reflection. We all have those days, but we all have other days too. And so Dr. Maxwell Maltz also then noted that, the self-image, the image we have of ourselves is our set destination. And our body is like a cybernetic mechanism, and a cybernetic mechanism is a regulatory mechanism like a thermostat or an autopilot of an airplane. And when we have a self-image of ourselves, our beliefs and behaviors, or our actions and behaviors, will always get us to that image we have of ourselves. So it's the cybernetic mechanism which adjusts to the image we have of ourselves. That's very important actually in weight loss. If we don't create from the inside out the new image we want of ourselves, the figure we have of ourselves, then we actually will always put on the weight again. We lose weight, we put on weight, we lose weight and put on weight. And and Bob Proctor, one of my mentors, he said, our success in an undertaking will never be greater than the image we have of ourselves. Now, how can you use that actually for you? And then we go and talk about athletes and patients. Now, you want to build a success mindset from the inside out. You want to build the image, the person you want to be from the inside out. You want to create that image, and then you want to bring it to life actually with your 5 senses and with emotion and repetition to become the person you want to become, achieve the goal, do what you would like to do. Now, the athletes really built on Dr. Maltz's research and also the self-development industry. And Jack Nicklaus, for example, said, I never hit a shot even in practice without having a sharp focus picture in my head. It's like a color movie. So the athletes are creating the image in their head because the subconscious mind and the cybernetic mechanism will get them where they want to get. There's an interesting article was written in the New York Times by Christopher Clary about the last Olympics. He actually had the chance to be with the Olympians at the Olympics, and he observed the athletes rehearsing their mentally their sports. So if it was ski jump or any of their specific activities, they were rehearsing constantly. And Emily Cook, the freestyle air Olympian, said that imagery goes beyond visualization. You have to smell it, you have to hear it, you have to feel it. It's everything. So basically, your whole body has to be involved in the whole imagery experience. It is not just the visual sense. As you saw earlier, we have our 5 senses which you need to engage. Now, taking this concept now to motor imagery, and many of you heard about motor imagery and are very familiar with that. And you're rehearsing mentally the activity, and there's various research that it activates, it stimulates an action or function without, so it's mental rehearsing and stimulating action or function without physically performing it. And again, it's a multisensory experience. Jim Taylor also noted that imagery affects us psychologically, emotionally, physically, technically, and tactically. And when in motor imagery, our body responds to the imagined event, and there's much more research to be done to think about the effect of motor imagery, but it activates the same brain cells as if the activity is actually performed, and there's a lot of evidence about that. And it creates new neural pathways. So there's a lot of more work can be done in the area of neuroplasticity. How can you use that in rehabilitation? Now you want to identify, of course, first the goal a patient has. Because remember, the goal is, like the set destination, and the cybernetic mechanism will get the patient to the goal. You want to create that mental picture, use the 5 senses, and add emotions. And in my book, Imagine a Healthy You, I describe all the details, how to do that and how to work with patients on using motor imagery to get the results they want to get. And those of you who are actually therapists, practicing therapists, you can think about specific activities, if it's just a few steps, to visualize that, or you can also encourage the patient to think about their favorite activities. Because, for example, if they love to walk in their garden, to rethink about the feeling of it, it's really very helpful also in chronic pain and fibromyalgia in areas where you want to have the patient help to go back into the image of doing something with ease and being able to do it. The beauty of it is motor imagery can be done anytime. Patients can do that at rest times, so that it's not, patients are exhausted, and physically they can continue to use motor imagery. Also at night, hospital nights are sometimes very long, and patients do need to be purposefully stimulated. And also what's exciting is that actually motor imagery not only helps to increase their physical abilities, but also it helps them to gain hope and happiness and well-being, and therefore improves their functional outcomes. The way you think, the way you behave, the way you eat can influence your life by 30 to 50 years. Dr. Deepak Chopra, and you all know him, of course. And so now for you today to take away, build your success image from the inside out for yourself, for your team, for your organization. And if you play sports or coach others in sports, you can use it for sports and fitness. And of course, those in rehabilitation and prevention, explore the concept of motor imagery to improve your patients' outcomes. And I'm happy to take questions. My website is on here, and the international best-selling book is Imagine a Healthy You, which covers the concept we talked about today.